Oh boy, do I have something exciting for you. Welcome back to the channel if you're new here. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work. We're about to make this model engine work. Engine DIY shop said, you want to do a review on our engine? I believe it's called a hit or miss, or a hit and miss. It's like a 4-stroke engine, but it's a very primitive version of it. And this is a scale version of that engine. If you've ever gone by a car show ice cream stand and it has the engine sitting out there that goes, that's that. And this is a scale one. I thought it was going to be something I build, but apparently it comes already built and ready to go. You can just buy it to have for display because it's so cool, or you can run it. So that's pretty cool. What we're going to do today is get this thing unboxed. I got some oil ready to go. I just poured a little oil in the cap. You actually have a little oil reservoir on here. It has a little fuel tank. You put about a ½ ounce of fuel in, and then you fire it up. You can use a pull cord or just spin the wheel to get it to start. Without further ado, let's get out of the box and take a look. Comes with some instructions, which definitely a good idea to review something like this. There is some safety concerns too. Not recommended for anyone under the age of 16. With adult supervision, of course. That's a different story. If you're into models and scale things, and like I build a lot of plastic models and all kinds of other things. I have so many hobbies, maybe too many. Radio controlled cars. This is something that'll probably interest you. They're between $400 and $500. You can find specials on them, get deals. They have tons of other versions of engines available if you want a different type of engine. 4-stroke and 2-stroke engines. You can buy a scale version of a Harley-Davidson V-twin, or they just call it a V-twin. They don't really specifically say a brand, but there's lots of brands of V-twins, I suppose. They have lots of options is the bottom line. Go through these instructions, do yourself a favor, familiarize yourself with how this works, where the exhaust is, where the heat is. Obviously these spinning parts, you don't want to get anywhere near that while it's running. It's got a spark plug, has an ignition system, a water tank. So you definitely want to set it up, get some oil in it, get some gas in it. It says 95 gas, which to me that's 91. That's the closest we'll get here. Sometimes you can find 93 in this area. But it'll run on just about any kind of a fuel that's regular gasoline. It is not a 2-stroke, so you don't mix oil and gas or anything like that. You don't want to put like alcohol in it or anything. You want just gasoline. Engine oil, straight 30, 10W30. Non-synthetic is probably preferred, I would assume. It doesn't specify that, just engine oil. Let's see what weight it says in the instructions. Let's get this out of here. So excited. This thing looks so cool. Wait till you see it. You do need one AA battery for the ignition. Does not include that. It's 3.6 cc displacement, water-cooled, CDI ignition, a 3/16 40 spark plug. For oil type, it says 2T or 4T or mixed oil. So that tells me it's 2-stroke or 4-stroke engine oil. Not that goes in the fuel, but just for the oil, for the lubrication itself. Anyway, let's take a look. This thing is super cool. Look at that thing. Is that just about the coolest thing ever? Comes with O-rings. The cap for this, it comes with an adapter for a drill start. If you want to use a power tool, it comes with that right here. You mount this in a power tool, put it in here, you spin it over, and when it starts, pull it out. It actually has a little valve assembly here, which is why it's called a hit and miss. It's a primitive design of a 4-stroke. If I understand correctly, they need 4 revolutions to hit a compression stroke or a combustion stroke where it fires a spark plug. So that's why the big flywheels are necessary to keep the momentum going until it fires again. But back when they didn't have any engines yet, this was how they did it, and it actually worked quite well. And the horses could take a break. That was the whole point. Comes with a pull cord if you wanted to wrap a pull cord around it and pull it that way. But you should be able to bring it up on compression. Once you have your fuel and oil in place. We're going to get this open up. We're going to get a AA battery. We are going to fire this thing up. If you're just into models and scale things, this is the coolest thing ever. Take it out of the box install the cap, put it on the shelf. It's just cool. So it's probably a little pricey. It's not for the average, for the faint of heart modeler, but for someone who really enjoys this kind of thing, it is phenomenal. I'm going to get a light where it lights this area a little better so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, let's add some water. This is not coconut water anymore, just a coconut water bottle. Make sure it has a little bit of coolant. That's all that's for. I'm going to put some oil. I have a dropper. This is actually, since I'm a mechanic, this is from a turbo kit that you pre-oil the turbo bearings before you install it. That way it's got oil already added rather than adding it when you start it up. It does not hold much oil. I was hoping this would be a small enough of a dropper. There's a spring I just found. You don't want to lose that. I'm trying to make sure there's oil in there. I think it does have has oil in it, but it's super clear. Now this will control how much oil goes through the motor while it runs, or engine. Gasoline. Gonna go back here. Now I took the oil out of this, put some gas in the cap from the same coconut water bottle. Probably need to have some type of a syringe because, I mean, this is a kind of a syringe, but it's not as precise as I'd like. And keep some paper towels on hand. Clean up our mess. Does not hold much gas. This is the crank trigger that signals the spark to fire, and this is for the valve to work to get the hit and miss portion of the engine's function to work. That is very cool. I have to get a AA battery. AA faces flat on the spring, positive on the contact. That's all by itself. I have to sit in a manner that it looks nice. It sits flat on the box. The wood is very nicely done, sanded smoothly, and I'm going to have to get this battery in there a little bit better. That's going to bother me. There is an arrow on here. There's an arrow. Might be hard to see. Shows you the direction to spin the flywheel. We've got fuel, we've got oil, we've got water. This is the exhaust. The idle is going to be right here. This will be our idle speed. If it's too low, then we can raise it. If it's racing too high, we can remove it to lower the idle. This thing should be ready to run. Let's fire it up. What do you say? I wish I could get the battery box to stay closed. That's going to be a sticking point for me. The battery and the battery holder pushes up on the plastic just enough that doesn't stay low. I would not leave the AA in the engine for storage anyway. If you're going to put it on a display shelf, take the battery back out. Don't leave it in there because they can go bad after a while and leak acid. Let's fire it up. On. I'm going to try to get more gas in it. It looked like it only took literally a few drops. So it might have been air trapped in the tank that couldn't come out while I put the gas in because my syringe is not ideal. Keep that in mind if you're going to be doing this. You probably want to get yourself something like this that's with a smaller tip, or the engine manufacturer could include it. I think it's not starting because I don't have gas. Let's see. You know what I need? A miniature funnel about this big. That would work. I'm going to use it like a dropper. That way the air can escape. This is something, honestly, that I will run once and put it away. And someday, if someone really wants to see it run, they go, whoa, that's cool. Does it actually run? Then I will say, yep, let's start it up. It'll be a 5 or 10 minute process, but that's part of the fun, I guess. The only thing to me cooler than scale models is scale models that function. That's 1 mil. Let's put a 2nd mil. Making quite a mess. I think that the fill could be larger, but they're doing that. They're giving up convenience for a scale appearance, which is good. I understand that. See if we have enough fuel for it to fire up now. But it should be enough. Find out momentarily. Ignition on. Because my injector here is too large, doesn't really fit in, so I have to slowly drip it in. Hopefully slowly. If you cover the entire hole with fluid, then it doesn't go in. I need a better syringe. I want to put enough fuel in it to get a good warm up. See how it runs when it's nice and warm, because every engine runs a little odd when it's cold. I do have water in the cylinder head coolant tank. The engine that this is a model of was so primitive that they just put water in a tank on top of the cylinder head and kept it cool. This is basically an exact replica of the full-size engines that they used for farm machinery and things like that. The little bit of oil lasts a while. You can adjust it. If the oil goes away too fast, it might foul your spark plug, so you want to definitely work on that adjustment. Monitor how quick your oil goes. We've got gas, we've got water, we've got oil. All we need now is ignition. And we'll fire this thing up. I got my pull cord wrapped around it already. It'll usually take about 4 or 5 attempts. Just hold it by the top of the battery box. Depending on the outside air temperature, the colder it is, the more difficult it might be to start. You might want to warm it. It takes a bit of patience with a model engine like this that's especially brand new and not broken in at all. This controls the fuel flow, and the little governor down here controls the engine speed, keeps it from overspeeding. So it was a very primitive way to control engine speed without a carburetor. Come on, little BO1. There it is. That is running. Is that not the coolest thing ever? There it goes. That thing is so cool. Trying to control the fuel feed to get the idle speed where you want. And the governor here, this little valve, keeps it from over speeding. Well, it gets happy. you can see why this is something you wouldn't want little kids playing with on their own, because all these moving parts, although the chances of your finger going in there is pretty slim. Don't try that yourself, but you know, you don't know what little kids are going to do, put pencils in there to see what happens, you know, that kind of thing. Sometimes they have fun, so you definitely want to supervise, be with them if you're going to run this, but I just think it's the coolest thing ever. Being a mechanic, this interests me a lot. And they've got very intricate little fuel feed lines. These are actually metal lines. They're not rubber or plastic. This thing is very well built. That's why it's a little on the expensive side. And I'm doing what I can to keep it clean. The exhaust will give you a little bit of richness. The governor, that was the governor, opens the exhaust valve so it can't make compression to slow the engine speed down. That's how it controls engine speed. This is the fuel mixture, and that little valve is the governor. You can literally watch that linkage. You can see those valves working, the governor working. It just trips the exhaust valve to slow the engine speed down. Centrifugal force makes it open that valve to keep it from going that fast. So just the speed of the spinning parts opens the valves, slows it back down, so it can't over rev. So freaking cool. I'm just going to let it run till it runs all the gas out of the tank, because I don't want to put it on my display shelf with gas left in the tank, right? So it'll run till it's out of fuel. The water tank's not getting hot, so it's not overheating. I'll tell you what, it does not need much gas to run for quite a while. I've been letting it run. I videoed a short about it. And it's definitely low on fuel, so it's gonna run out of gas soon. But it doesn't take a lot. If you don't want to run it for long, do yourself a favor and put like 1 cc. That might be running out right there. That shuts it off. Force the exhaust port open, and so it can't refire itself. I do recommend taking the AA out if you're going to put it in storage. These AA's will leak and they'll do damage to the battery box and the switch wiring and things like that. The only complaint I could say is this battery holder's a little flimsy feeling, but I mean, it works. You just have to bear in mind that it's a little hard to get into the box. It's a tight squeeze in there. Like if the box was like 2 millimeters larger, it would be a little better, but it works. I'm going to take the cap off the fuel tank. I poured the water out, and we're going to let it aerate and sit before we put it on display on the shelf. I'm going to let it sit out here in the garage, let the gas tank vent off a little bit, and let the water evaporate from there. This way, next time we want to fire it up, we just put the fluids in, a little bit of oil, a little gas, a little water, we can fire it up. Cool, cool, cool. Well guys, this is a cool little engine. I think very well built. They are a little pricey, so you definitely have to have the budget for it, of course, but if you're a tinkerer or you're into scale engines and scale models and all those kinds of things, this is something that will really suit your fancy. And they got tons of different designs. This is just one. I thought when I got it I was going to be building it. I was surprised that it comes already built. Maybe you can buy them not built as well. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on the website and see. We'll have a link in the description below if you're interested. And check out some of the other models they have too. Maybe we'll do another one soon for them, I hope, because this thing is cool. More than anything, I hope you'll tune into another video in the future. Subscribe if you're new. Our main focus is day in the shop videos. Being a mechanic, that's what I do. I take you to work with me. I also have my 62C10 project truck videos, over 100 of those. So we do a lot of things like this as well. Anything we find cool or interesting. So torque the like button on your way out, and hope I see you in another video, because you're awesome.